Gentrification has so many different levels.
Right, right.
It has, so it's not just people coming to your neighborhood and trying to, sell your house. Gentrification is you purposely as a government official or purposely as a higher up peddling things that are going to kill that community so that you could just take it right from under. It's so many different things that we need to do as a people in general. We can't depend on the government. We already know this.
So listen, so we want to get into our topic, the black vote. How do we? Well, first of all, does it really matter our black vote? How do we get it to matter? All of those questions we got about the black vote. It's been a lot of heartbreak this year. Under 45's leadership. Well, before we got on the air, I know I talked about Diddy and how he wants to start his own black party, which I thought it was a dope idea. And he's basically trying to focus on making sure our vote matters, or making sure that we can, going forward after this election, that we can figure out a way to make our black vote matter. So my question to us today is, how do you think we should go forward moving forward about pretty much figuring out how our black vote can matter? How do you think we do that?
Well, I'll say for me, historically, it mattered enough for them to rebuke our vote, to say that you're 1/4 of a man, to say that, we're not allowed to vote, to have actual voting tests to defer Black people from voting. How many bubbles in a bar soap? Here's a can of candy. How many pieces of candy are, just idiotic questions to try to suppress our vote because of their thoughts of who we were. That's number one. Historically, it's important because our ancestors did so much to ensure that we were treated equally for our vote. That's number one. Number two, if it wasn't important, why are they trying so hard to suppress it? Exactly. If it wasn't important, why are so many people coming up with all these idiotic laws? And places that are predominantly Black, why do they only have one voting machine for an entire region? If our vote did not matter, why do they appeal solely to Black people? You hear it on the radio. Well, and I don't want to bring up his name, but Ice Cube said he's voting. Well, he's in talks with Trump. He never said he was voting for him, but he's in talks with Trump because Trump is offering a 500-something, 400-something billion-dollar deal. Maybe 600. I can't remember the exact number. But he's offering this to Black people. So now you're appealing to him because he has a plan. Listen, you've been in here 4 years. Now that the vote has come up, you're trying your best to appeal to Black people because you're lacking in that area. Our vote is important because they appeal to us. The problem is we're so easily swayed by what somebody else says and what somebody else is doing and what 50 Cent want to talk about because he doesn't want his taxes raised because he's a wealthy person. He's a part of the wealthy class. So you're swaying other Black people to vote for the wrong person that has no intentions of doing anything profitable or to assist in prospering your community, your people. Black people, listen, we definitely have the right to vote. Our vote does matter, or else we would have never elected President Obama. And however you feel about him, we definitely have that power. And not only that, people need to stop thinking that the presidency is the highest regard. Local voting is more important than the presidency because those things affect us directly. The last podcast we talked about was the Attorney General in the Breonna Taylor case. He failed us. But guess what? He was a voted in official. So, people get to the presidency and it becomes this national thing, this huge thing. But the truth of the matter is our vote counts more. in our communities, in our local elections, and in our state elections. So I definitely say our vote does matter. We just got to get that in our head that our
Yeah,
vote is
and
important.
I agree that it does matter. I think what I really want to say is, um, I guess, how can we, I guess, make sure that it's heard? Because our vote matters, but at the same time, what I guess the real issue is we're not getting nothing out of our vote. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, I guess like the other communities, they will voice their opinion, and it's probably because of the money factor. I think, because a lot of the other coaches have money to give these campaigns. Because my whole thing in my brain, the way it sounds is like, let's say some representative comes, to the community and they need some money for their campaign, and they're like, "Cool, we can give you the money, but this is what we want. We want this. We want that." Leverage is what it is. That's what I call it. I always say when you want to do business, you got to have leverage.
I feel
So,
you on that. I feel you on that.
yes, how do you get? I guess how do we get leverage? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we? And I got a couple of ideas, but I just want to kind of hear what you guys want to say on that.
Go ahead, one of y'all.
I feel like you said, the leverage. I feel like it's all about who's willing to make us think. Like when you go to these school, council meetings and these school board meetings is what I want to say. The people that are vocal, there is not us. The people that are usually vocal are the people who move mountains. They kick, not to say we don't care about our community, but we don't mind. Like a lot of those people do not mind making us think. Do not mind what going to these places and making sure that their voice is heard. Like we can march and we can protest all we want to, but that's the only way that we are going to make sure that the people that are in office do not remain in office. How we make our voice heard? Shoot. You and your friend, pick your friend up to go to the poll. We can go everywhere else together. We can do everything else together. Like, definitely be vocal. Use your platforms. Use your social medias, like, to make sure that people, to normalize voting, normalize being a positive person in your community, normalize that you are, speaking on something other than fashion, celebrities, and gossip.
But I think
making sure.
Sometimes a lot of people feel like it's pointless, like it doesn't matter. Like even if you do vote, it's just like, well, what's the point? Nothing's going to change. And especially if you have been voting, and then to see where things are now, like it's just like, well, what's the point of me even voting? Look at where things are now. So obviously my vote does not matter. So what's the point of voting? So it kind of discourages people. And as you know, people are easily discouraged sometimes. And then especially if you see the state of our country right now, it's easy to just be like, well, they're gonna do what they want to do, so what's point of me even voting? It's not a good attitude to have. But I've spoken to individuals who are younger, and they're like, I mean, I'll vote, but it ain't no point in voting. Like, what does it matter?
It definitely matters. Like, this is what we are. Yeah,
it doesn't matter. And I try to explain it, but it's like something doesn't connect, because it's kind of like what you know versus what you see.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I feel that see, in past elections, I have been the one that actually has been voting in the past elections. But when it comes to this election, I'll be honest with you, I feel a certain kind of way. But Clinton and I, we talked about this. I'll be honest with you. At first, I was saying I wasn't going to vote, but going into this election, I'm gonna push to say that I will. I do agree with you, Tay, about that. Local elections, I feel, are they weigh heavily on local elections as opposed to national elections. But what I feel is what would make it to where how we can make our vote count. I go back and I agree wholeheartedly with the concept that Claude Anderson talks about constantly about powernomics. And the one things he said as far as like with building that up is we first control the money. And if we control the money where our dollar circulated more times in our own community before it even leaves our community and start building up our own communities through that black dollar, I think that, you know, when the politicians come asking for our help, we hold them accountable. It's we practice quid pro quo. If we give you our vote, you got to do something for us. What are you going to do? And when they get in that office, hold them to it. What are you going to do for us? You said you was going to do X, Y, Z. Do it.
How do you hold them accountable once they already get in office?
Well, it's like when they don't, from what he said, you make an example of them. So you said that, you know, when it comes time election time, when we have that power to where we got money coming in our community and politicians come around looking for us, it's the same thing what lobbyists do. We are going to pay you X amount of dollars to your campaign, but you got to do X, Y, Z for us. A proud example of that was when Dr. Anderson he was in politics running with Jimmy Carter when Jimmy Carter was president, and he was behind the scenes doing a lot of different things for Jimmy Carter, and through his position, he was able to grant money to different people who was coming in asking for money. And some of the people that came in asking for money, he would give it to them, but he said, you know, you got to do something for me. And through his position and how he was doing that, he was able to elect, I think, three, federal judges on seats at the time in his position just by practicing quid pro quo. He was saying, "Hey, you do this, I want this," and they gave it to him. So if we hold that type of mindset into position, we can do it. And then if they don't, make an example of them. Okay, you're not going to be voted in office. You're not going to get our position when it comes time for re-election. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get our money for this. Whatever party was doing whatever, you're not going to get it. I do believe also in Diddy, where he was saying that, you know, he wants to get our own party. I agree. I mean, it's something that we need some kind of representation for us, but whoever we back, we need to hold them accountable and outline exactly what is it that you're going to do for us. How are we going to benefit from us? I'm not talking about everybody else. I'm talking about how are Black people going to benefit. I know they try to do these other different terms like people of color, not excluding them, but everybody else has gotten something out of something else. The LBGQ community has gotten something out of it. Hispanics have gotten something out of anything. Black people haven't gotten anything from all these different things, and we have not held people accountable. They have not outlined exactly what they will do for us, specifically for us, and that's a problem.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, so let me ask y'all this though. Then, you know, it's kind of piggybacking off of what Diddy was saying about the Black Party. Let's say we were the Black Party. The collab presents the Black Party. What are we putting in place? Like, what are we putting in place? So let's say people whoever we put money towards, they got nominated, right? Who are we putting? What rules are we putting in place? And what are we asking for? To have to hold somebody accountable. What are we asking these politicians to do?
I feel like we need more after-school programs and facilities and finance. That's financing education. What else? the cost of living is just like really high. I feel like that's kind of more like economic, but I feel like, you know, creating jobs in low income communities, like that's major. That's major. Those are just a few of the short things that come to my mind.
Tay,
Go ahead, Tay. Go ahead, Tay.
I know in the area that I grew up in, there was a lot of, you know, building up. So in DeKalb County off of Glenwood, that's where the East Lake Meadows golf course is. Mm-hmm. And just in that general area, they begin to build up around that little circle right there to appear. Gentrification. You're taking something from somebody denies you access to their home. They do not want to build on their property. They want to keep their home. You raise their taxes so high that it's unlivable, and you take their home from under them without even offering them a penny. So you win. Wow. Gentrification is really dangerous to the Black community because now you are forced out and you have to live in a lower income than where you were when you owned your house. Yeah. So that's one thing that I would definitely change. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Our school system is struggling. Our school system is just, you know, it needs to be better in every aspect of the way. So certain areas have nicer schools, nicer areas, the streets are paved. You know, when it comes to our community, you know, they'll patch. And it's good here and it's good there. And then, you know, just little things like that. Making sure that, you know, it's equal opportunity for employment, making sure that it's equal opportunity for police officers, for the police department, that there is fairness in our judicial system, that it's not impartial to, you know, the color of your skin. It's impartial to your habitual violations. It's impartial to, you know, your whole background. So there are a lot of things. And I promise you, like just like the last time, I was listening to the last podcast and I was like, dang, I should have said this. There's so many things that I feel that we lack in a place that we don't have in government because we're not represented properly. That's why every time you hear my great auntie Maxine Waters up there, you know, she's passionate because our voices are not heard. So she looks like an angry Black woman, but she sounds like to me a woman that's tired of not being heard and tired of not being felt and tired of being disrespected. So, you know, I've never experienced a more disrespectful president in all of my life. He is just disrespectful, and we're not represented anywhere around him because he will condemn protesting, which is our right, and not condemn white supremacy because they're very fine people. So all around, there are so many things that we need to change because we're not represented properly. And those are just a few of mine.
I don't have a president. Trev, what you got?
I think that, representation is one key for it. I think that going back to Dr. Anderson again, he spoke to Charlemagne recently on the Breakfast Club, and he had pointed out some notable things as far as like having like representation right there in Washington D.C. for us, like a figurehead who is able to take up our cause, and like, you know, the president or anybody in government would have to refer to that person as far as getting, you know, insight as far as what's going on with Black people in the United States. We don't have somebody to say, hey, you can't do that. It's going to affect so many other, like, you know, Black people or Black jobs or whatever, or this is wrong, what's going on in the Black community, bringing attention to our exact needs. And another thing I would say as well is like, we need to have, a reparations loan that's like a revolving loan that gives to Black communities, like that, charge them at a low interest rate, but it's a revolving loan that goes around and it helps build up Black businesses, give them a chance to be able to utilize that loan. And I think we need to have it like in just about every state. And it's like a way of giving back reparations, but definitely having it to where we're able to borrow money to build up our communities and pay it back at a low interest rate and keep it revolving. That'll be something to where it'll be like, something that we can get easy access to and give it aim it at specifically for black people, but make it available to where, like, I guess people of color, but definitely the main focus of it needs to be aiming it toward black people. We need to get the pick of the litter first. That's what I'm saying.
Right. I agree. I mean, am I the only one that feels like our history, like nobody wants to talk about our history?
No, it doesn't allow you to sleep well at night if you're not a part of that history.
Right. Like nobody wants to talk about what we've done for this country.
Build it up. It wouldn't be a country without us.
Right. Nobody wants to talk about, all of, I mean, when I talk about like the patents that we have, to the point, well, we talk about like, man, it's so many things we've done. And the fact that it's nowhere acknowledged. It's like all the contributions that we've had to this country is not, the respect is not reciprocated. It's what I'm saying, like I feel like if we want to do a black party, I mean, honestly, I feel like some acknowledgement has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
who do we want the acknowledgement from?
Well,
like, you can't want the acknowledgement from someone who refuses to see the good you've done.
I would say this. The way I look at it is this. This is how I operate in life. Whenever you do wrong to me, just like if I did wrong to you, I need to hear you say it. I need to hear you say, yo, all these things that y'all brought up, that you brought to us, we were ignoring that. All of this police brutality, these killings, we didn't address it right. And I publicly apologize. And go forward. But I'm saying this is the black party. You understand what I'm saying? If we create this, because to me that's better than money. Because
I'd rather have your money, because I know that's not gonna be the truth.
No, I'm not.
I'm
not saying you're not gonna give money.
But that's the point that I'm trying to make is like you just said. You'd rather, that would be good for you to hear them say it, because you know that it would be demeaning for them to say. Like, here's my thing. Y'all giving us everything that we don't want. Like, we didn't ask for y'all streets to be named after Trayvon Martin, Lord rest his soul.
Right.
We didn't ask for you
to going around the situation.
Yeah. We didn't ask you to name, a corner of George Floyd's road. We didn't ask for that. All these Martin Luther King streets. We didn't ask for that. What we asked for is to be treated like citizens of this country that we built, that we tilled, that we picked, we virtually, y'all enslaved us.
But let me finish what I'm saying, because what I mean by what I'm saying is that this money's printable. You give me money, that's cool. But the way I handle somebody that probably can give me money, because you can give me money just to shut me up.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you just saying, hey, all right, fine. Here's this money to shut you up. But no, I want to know. I want to hear you say. I want to hear you say that you was wrong. Because, listen, once again, this is the black party, right? This is the black party. And the reason why I say that is because that acknowledgement right there, it's something about when you acknowledge something that humbles you. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, you publicly is telling people, yo, we did these people wrong.
Yeah, because I don't think they've ever have they ever like came out and said yes, blatantly said yes, we have done this. It's like we've uncovered it through truth.
Like who is they? That's my question. Like I get what we're
She had a point. Who is
I
they? We got
get
to.
White people, what you mean? The power
right.
free.
No, no,
But
no.
there have been,
No,
yeah.
that's not what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Who is they? Like, are you literally asking for every white person that you ever come in contact with to say, like, what would this look like? Is it like you want all white people to go to NBC and sit on the camera together and say, hey, we know that y'all did this, and we're like, that's my question. Like,
you have.
How do we expect this to happen?
Well, listen, whoever I'm doing business with about this matter, about my people, and that you got in front of me that represents your party, needs to say it. Period. And to me, that's that. And I'm not saying that's the only thing, because obviously we're going to discuss all of those things I mentioned are great. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm big on after school programs, so that made me the person I am today. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on us, because the thing about gentrification is that's us taking back our communities. You know what I'm saying? That's us going out there and regulating and let them know that you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't, we let people come in, and it's because we've been in these hoods, we've been in these places you didn't want to come for years, decades, and all of a sudden you want to come in and kick somebody out? Nah, we not having that. Those are the type of things we can't allow. I can't allow you to come in here and take over a place that you have condemned and didn't even want to walk these streets for decades.
You wouldn't walk these streets if money wasn't involved.
Right.
Like that's the thing.
Exactly.
Like I promise you, the saying in my neighborhood was, and I don't know, I've always heard the saying: if you see white people walk in your neighborhood, something ain't right. Something ain't right.
But it's getting ready. That means that it's like getting ready to change, and
something happening, right?
Yeah, it's like if you come back like in a small amount of time, the neighborhood is not even going to look like what you remember it looking like.
I'm gonna tell you,
it's going to be very different. And I can tell you from let's just take just Harlem, like just as an example,
right?
Like they used to take all of them buses, all of them just driving and riding through, and all of those tourists taking pictures.
Right.
Oh my God, look at that! Oh my God! Right. Oh my God! Then they started with one Starbucks, two Starbucks, then one building, then three, and before you know it, like you don't even recognize where you are anymore, because it's just like changed that much. And it's sad. It's like really, it's sad and it's unfortunate. But I feel like if we had the opportunity and the knowledge that we would know how to make the most out of the communities that we live in.
See, I think also what plays a part into that is there's the systematic systemic racism that they play with the banking systems. They redline areas where they were not going to allow money to flow into, so that caused the deterioration of these neighborhoods. If they were allowing money to flow into those neighborhoods the right way, if people want to open up businesses and everything, and money was flowing from the banks into them, I think that could have stopped the deterioration of these neighborhoods. But now they lifted that redlining ban up, and that's why when you got gentrification, because there's money involved now. So the banks are saying, hey, you know what, we're going to lend money in here because you're gentrifying it.
Mm-hmm.
Beautifying is what they call it. But yeah, do y'all remember when Trump went out there to Florida and he was like, what do y'all have to lose? Your schools are failing. I live in ghettos. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what they think. Every time you think of the ghetto, you don't think of black people. I mean, you don't think of white people, you think of black people. And the first thing they say is, oh my God, they need to clean that up over there. So they need to clean that up, y'all. And this is just historically. You
Right.
put all of these drugs into our neighborhoods. You put all of this stuff. You take the money out and you put the drugs in. Then you arrest our people and then you turn around. But you're the cause of it. And I'm not saying, look, that's all choice. But gentrification has so many different levels.
Right. Right.
It's not just people coming to your neighborhood and trying to sell your house. Gentrification is you purposely as a government official or purposely as a higher up peddling things that are going to kill that community so that you could just take it right from under. It's so many different things that we need to do as a people in general. We can't depend on the government. We already know this.
Exactly.
We cannot depend on the government. It was not designed for us. It was not designed for us to even be a part of.
That was going to be my next question.
Mm-hmm.
Because my thing is, we talking about a black party, right?
Yeah.
Black vote. But what are we going to do for ourselves? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so this is how I always look at stuff. And trust me, I came a long way. I came, from the food stamps and welfare, all the welfare, all of that, right? So in that journey, I've seen and I understand why the community is the way it is. But we have, in any situation, if I go to somebody and be like, yo, I need this, I need to figure out, but I have to have at least started something before I came to that person and saying, this is what I want. You understand what I'm saying? It's like having a business and you want a loan.
You got to have a business plan.
I got to have a plan. And I also had to start something. Like, in my opinion, I had to at least start some type of program, some type of something that somebody can add to. That's partnership.
Mm-hmm.
That's partnership. You understand? I'm not here. I'm not going to come to you, coming to you, but like, I need you to do this. I feel like I'm begging.
But what you're saying, like, it makes sense. And that's why I said we don't have the knowledge. Sometimes we don't have the knowledge of that to know what to look at and how to flip and do. That's all fine and dandy for you to pull out a phone.
Listen, it's a start. Because here's my thing. His information is not hidden anymore.
It's not.
It's right there. It's right there in the palm of your hands. And even, here's the thing, even if it's not by the book, according to what these people are doing, it's yours, right? Because it's your community. We can do whatever we want to do, whatever we want to do, because it's ours, right? We can, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I always go back to the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers was there to protect the community. You know what I'm saying? And they tried to make it look like something else, but they was trying to protect the community. They was, doing so many things. But we gotta find a way. You gotta start somewhere, bro. Like,
I'm definitely, the whole black, I understand what they're trying to do with, starting a black party. I get that. Call me whatever you want to call me. I don't think that is a immediate thing we need to do. That is a process.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And I feel
it's not.
like, the minute that we do something like that, it's going to be so many hands in that pot. And it's just going to be like, how are you going to, it's just so many different things that I cannot figure out. And, I'm not saying I don't have a plan. I'm not saying it can't work. I think that we need to start from ground zero and learn our own government. We need more of our faces in there.
Because
we need more women.
Even if you say, oh, let's start a black party, it's going to be a bunch of people trying to jump into the black party.
Exactly. Don't even know nothing about politics.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how government works, voting. Like, they don't know how any of this electoral vote, they don't know how any of it works. So you can't jump. It'll just be somebody wanting to jump in there and like, oh, yeah, I'm down with it. And don't even really know what they're talking about.
And that's exactly how I feel. I think that we need to learn what's already implemented. Okay, if it's not ours, then we're going to make it ours. The more faces that look like us, the more that we can, join. Like-minded individuals can definitely move mountains. So I feel like...
I just feel like I hate to sound like a traitor to my own people,
You are.
but y'all don't feel like sometimes the problem is that we don't even like unite and come together.
That's
Like case
That's
always
another
the
problem
problem.
too.
look at
That's
That's another problem.
he can't see past his own wallet to say like I'm gonna put my own taxes aside because it's not like I don't have the money to pay for it. But I'm gonna put me not wanting to pay any taxes aside and push that aside for the betterment of my community and my people who don't have money like me.
or you
Exactly.
would
Like,
rather go through 4 more years to save your money. That's just greedy.
exactly. It's like
You even wanting to unite and be one with your people, and you're talking about putting someone in office who is a downfall for the people that buy your stuff that keep the money in your pocket.
Can I,
Like,
it's like
can I ask you a
it's like
question?
what's up?
So, what would we do to a person like that?
make an example. I'm
Which, like a 50
make it
Cent. Like
like
if he says he wants, like if he's saying the way he's saying, what should we do to a person like that?
see stuff like that.
We
That's
should,
when we hold them accountable.
but
Like
I don't even think it's like holding accountable. I think this cancel culture that we have created, like that needs to happen. But there are still
yeah.
people on a lower level who like, nah, 50 Cent, that my homie. We in the club, bottle full of bud. Like you can't even see
And that's where
your own
and it's
ignorance.
ignorance. It's
Let's just
ignorance.
be
That
real. Let's just be real about 50 Cent. 50 Cent should have been canceled a long time ago for his bullying mechanisms online, for his treatment of women. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like Jay said, we need to definitely implement to stick to that. Baby, you canceled. You're canceled. You are willing to put your whole. But he also said a long time ago that Shaw broke behind. That ain't me.
and
You
it's
know,
and that's the
I made it
mentality a
past
lot of
9
people
bullets, so I'm
have.
gonna definitely do this and do that. I just feel like it's so much going on, and there's so many people that really are showing their true colors with this election than any other election I've ever seen in my life. So the truth of the matter is, like I said, like you said, Jay, I feel like that cancel culture definitely needs to happen. Number one. Number two, if you don't vote, don't say nothing to me. I'm sorry about nothing the way that life is, because the truth of the matter is that electoral college is killing the game.
Yeah.
It's killing everything.
Oh Jesus! Like
It just don't even make sense. And I think it was implemented because of those Republican parties, because of not Republican, because of the way that people want it to work. Okay, if you win over here, then you got 16 electoral votes over here, but you really won the whole state. It don't make sense. Like how y'all just gonna you win but you lose? Like
And then what's the whole thing with the popular vote? And then depending on the electoral college thing, like with the last election, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but Donald Trump won the electoral
because he
college
won
vote.
the electoral college states that were the highest.
right.
And I'm
And
just
see,
like, and
it's
you just
just
be
like
bragging on that. He just be bragging on that. Baby, we didn't even vote for you. We didn't like you like that. You got the
exactly.
electoral college votes.
Right.
Like,
And the same thing
anyway,
happened with Bush and Gore. The same thing happened with Bush and Gore.
I'll take Bush all day over Trump. I'll
I would
take.
too.
I'm saying like I feel like under Bush we had a whole war
Catastrophe. Mm-hmm.
Like I myself was affected by it. Like my mother went home. Like people like my mother left. Like no, she didn't go to Afghanistan, but my mother was not home. Like she came back and forth, but she had to leave probably like when my brother was 1 year old. So like when we talk about it, like she's like, listen, we made it through Bush. We can make it through this. And I admire that. But at a certain point, like when you looking at the news and you looking at just social media and just like the things that are just happening, like it's discouraging. It leaves a nasty taste in your mouth, and it makes you be like, "Is this really what we've come to? Like this is where we are right now." And I feel like we got here because, like, I've done research on like past like presidential race. There's never not one time been anybody that ran for president that was perfect, had everything. Whenever you're voting, it's always like you're voting for the lesser evil. That's basically just what it is. So with the Hillary and Donald Trump thing, like it was like, okay, well they put him in office because he was like considered less than evil because of her whole email scandal. But look at where we at now.
Is that the worst of her problems? Like, you
Like,
know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Nah,
I mean, but and he
nah.
was just as bad with
Hold on.
the whole thing with Russia. He was just as bad.
right.
There's no collusion. Yeah, line.
I mean, you know, Hillary also, you know, the Clinton administration, they weren't good for black people either. So
None of them are, and that's the problem
yeah,
that people need to realize. Donald Trump has made it to where it's white and black through Republican and Democrat. None of them are, because none of this was organized or created for us. It wasn't up until like 50 years ago, 55 years ago, that we were able to sit at the same table as y'all, that we were able to enter the same door. That's not that long ago. How old are some of our mothers?
right.
You know what I'm saying? That clearly almost experienced if they did not experience those type of things.
Yeah.
So this country is not for us to just look at the laws and be like, oh, I created equal. Baby, we weren't equal up until really, and not to mention the president, the current seated president, has made it so normal for people to say the most hateful. He has the most hateful following that I've ever seen. People literally will run you down if you have a Biden sticker. If you don't, feel the way that they feel, they'll burn your dang on house down. Like, I've never seen that in my life. So all of this is not orchestrated for me. I don't mind not putting a sign out in front of my yard is not going to dictate who I'm voting for. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. I just feel like instead of us having a black party, I feel like that we need to implement our names in the current government, the city government right now. That's the attorney general, and make sure that we don't become corrupt. It's easy to say that right now. Mm-hmm. Because the first thing we do is we learn the game. Mm-hmm. We see somebody else who don't look like us doing some old trifling stuff, and we think we can do that.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, even if, let's say we were to do this whole black party thing, what's to stop whoever gets in there or whoever we put to be in there to even like switching up once they get in and do what's best for them?
Exactly.
Well,
I'm still looking at Diddy and Cassie like, how that happened? I don't trust you with my money.
Too, with Diddy, Cassie in
you
it
let
too, with Diddy?
You let Cassie go like that? Something ain't right with you.
I mean, we gotta start from the root, man.
I'll say this. No matter how y'all want to look at it, I take it back to a spiritual reference. We in the last days, y'all. Like, honestly, to be real honest, it ain't gonna get any better. It's gonna just get worse and worse. We're in the last days.
Yeah, I mean, and I hear that. Look, I think the only thing is, I'm not here to roam this earth and just be like, yo, I'm about to just lay down and be like, yo,
right,
all right, let me wait for Jesus to come back, and me.
No, do what you can. Yeah, do what you can, but just know that it's bad out here.
I tell you straight up, the way I roll, I'm here to lay down. I'm here to lay down and die for my family and my people. You know what I'm saying? That's just how my mental is. I mean, because a great poet once said, if you ain't got a passion, you just wasting air.
And one person can definitely change a whole movement. You know what I'm saying? Like, one person can definitely, set the fire up under you. Like, we always talk about the same black people.
That one person need more people to help them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Exactly. So I'm gonna tell y'all, and this is something I ain't gonna lie. Did he hit me? He hit me in the head with this real quick. He said, listen, y'all kings need to do more.
Y'all what?
He said, y'all kings need to do more because these sisters out here making y'all look bad.
We booming, like, literally, we're not waiting on nobody.
He got a point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, black men need to do more. And I've always see, I feel like anything that we need to do, we need to move in silence.
I agree. I
don't need a party. I need my people to gather on the low I need somebody to pull me to the side. Like, yo, listen, come through. We about to do X, Y, Z.
We need to be on some Underground Railroad type stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's
We need to meet. We need to meet in the cave with no signal coming through that joint.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Put your cell phones outside.
Leave your cell phones outside. You know what I'm saying? We got a steel roof. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's listening to what we gotta say, and we need to get to what we need to get to, because you know, a black party to me is the only thing it's going to do is bring more attention.
Exactly, because I mean, look at it when the bankers, when there was that secret meeting with the bankers off the coast off of Jekyll Island, when they met, that was the starting of the banking system right there, when they all met together secretly and then let nobody know what was discussed about in that meeting. I think we need to be moving the same type of direction.
What's that called? The what?
I forgot what the name of that meeting was called, but it took place at Jekyll Island, and that's where you got these the bankers. The bankers got all these different bankers got together, and they discussed how the banking system was going to run with the Federal Reserve, because as y'all know, the United States, the Federal Reserve is not ran by the government. It's ran by private bankers. So they are in the control of the money and how everything gets funneled in the country. So the government does not own the Federal Reserve. So, and just like with America being built, America was built off of private bankers. They are the ones who have the power and the sway in this country. Hence, that's why I feel also that these elections, powers that be, however they want it to run, deep down, you follow the money. Follow the money.
That's
But it's like that, and that's the funny thing. You said it because Hillary was one of the highest collectors. She's one of the people, like, she had a backing, and sis still lost. You know what I'm saying? Because of the Electoral College. So it's like, it's literally, we have to change the dynamic of how we're viewed by the things that we do. You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing people do, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to change anything. Oh, well, you know, the first thing they say, oh, well, y'all want us to stop killing y'all own. I agree, but we're not the only one killing folks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We literally, yeah, I agree. I've never killed nobody, but I do believe Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna go there. And if y'all read some of these comments on these dang on pages, somebody black do something, the first thing they say is, well, where is Black Lives Matter? The same place all lives matter is. Right. Blue lives matter when the police shoot somebody. What they at? Right. You know, we have to change the dynamic of how we're viewed and how we, you know, it's okay to care about what people think about you. Listen, it's okay.
Somebody, listen, I got an email the other day. You know, these aliens, man, they say, you're forgetting about the aliens. Green lives matter too. Green lives matter.
And then nobody say none of this until Black Lives. Everybody want a place. Y'all feel neglected.
Aliens came to your Clint.
Pretty sure you're gonna see the ants coming to some ant lives matter too.
They just started coming out of nowhere. It was like
he phoned me home and he was like, yo, Clint, green lives matter too.
Like, it is not an exclusion. It's literally a reminder. Right. Just in case, before you pull that trigger, Black Lives Matter. Right. You know, just want you to know, Black Lives Matter. Hey, put the gun down, son. Yeah. Black Lives Matter.
What the aliens fit,
I mean, I agree with that, but like, we're not trusted. We walk down the street, people clutching their purse.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, we have
against us. All against us.
Yeah, and not to mention, unarmed means that we are not a threat. If I'm still a threat to you as a police officer, if I'm still a threat to you as a legislator or a judicial, you know, authority, and I literally don't have anything to harm you, you in the wrong position, brother. Right. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely need to know exactly what these people that we're voting for, we need to know what they stand for, not just what they say, what can be proven. I listen. Donald Trump has taught me not to vote for anybody who, the man don't have any political experience except that he votes.
Right.
Well, we don't even know that because he don't pay his taxes.
Hey, look at it. Ronald Reagan was an actor before he
I was
became
just about to say, because Ronald Reagan was an actor before he got.
But Ronald Reagan also had tact. He was, somewhat professional. Donald Trump ain't got no tact.
But you know,
talking circles.
Like even like also with like voting and knowing where these the people who are running for office stand. Like I also want us to do research on the acts that they try to like slide on in there when it's time for election, and do the like research, because that's what I did with this current election. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I literally had to read it probably about like 6 times because I could be
exactly the verbiage is like the Constitution.
They try to throw you off, and I had to like at first I was like this bill, and I was like this bill in voting, like I had to like repeat it so that I could like literally understand and comprehend exactly what I was voting for and what my yes would mean and what my no would mean.
Yes,
like, some people just go in there.
That's what I had. That's exactly right. Whereas, therefore, and like, of, and these,
being this stated henceforth, meaning the like what? Oh my god! Like it was just like so.
Is this from the Constitution?
Right? Like, like I literally sent it to like all the people. Like, and it's I forgot her name, but I think her name is like Wendy for Georgia. And it was just like big as day. Like if you're voting, please read up on these. And like she put the act up there, and then she was like, so if you vote yes, that will mean that you are giving the government you are making it so that the government can do such and such with the taxes, but like things like that. Like so you just have to do research, just period. That's just
so listen.
And like you said, know where they stand, and don't let it be an emotional decision.
Right.
For the current moment.
Right.
Exactly.
So I guess we're we're agreeing to say that is, I guess it's a little bit more than that we have to do than just saying, hey, we need to do a black party. It's more like we need to start from the ground, the root issues that we have to take care of on our own. And then, I guess go to somebody or, like what exactly, what's the, because I think we're all agreeing, it seems like, about the black party is not necessarily something. I mean,
not right now.
Yeah, I agree with it. It's a good. It sounds good, and I would like to hear more. But at the same time, we got a lot more to do. Is that this is?
Yeah, it's not something that we need like right now, and it's not something that obviously can just be thrown out there. Like it's something that has to be put together like correctly. Take your time, and then it needs to be.
It's literally, it's not a department store. It's not just something you open up and solicit.
Right.
Yeah, it takes more to it. I think that we need to first control the money. I really think we need to control the money first.
Leverage.
Yeah, we need leverage. We need to control the money.
So listen. All right. So I mean, last words about black people voting, whatever's on your heart. What do you got to say, Tay? What you got?
We just need to be vocal. We need to be educated. We need to know exactly where we stand and let our yes be a yes and our no be a no. And be sincere and honest about your opinion. Look, if you vote for Trump, let me know so I can keep you over there. You know what I'm saying? Like definitely. I just really want us to be to stand out for the right reasons and not because we're the first 5 minutes of the news. I want us to have a voice, and I want it to be orchestrated properly. I want to be taken seriously. So, as far as voting, it's just like, if you're in a desert, I hate onions, I hate Brussels sprouts, but if I'm in a desert starving, I'm probably gonna eat them Brussels sprouts.
They're gonna look really good.
Yeah. Both of them are I hate both of them, but it's just what's more appealing to what I'm trying to do and where I can go. So that's my final take. Stop telling people, lesser of two evils. That's true. I agree. But, if you're not going to vote, if you're not going to, be serious about it, don't deter other people. So that's where I stand.
Jay Sheree.
My thing is just be smart about it. Do your research. I think regardless, you should vote, regardless of if you feel like you're not heard. I think you should vote regardless. Be smart about your decision, and please keep in mind that every so often they vote on our ability to vote. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's something that you wouldn't even appreciate and that you would probably take for granted until if indeed one day they decide to take it away from us, and then you really would hate the position that you would be in. Be smart.
Trim.
I would say first, man, for all this stuff, I would say just pray. First, you know, no matter what happens, build your faith up. You know, take it to Yahweh, God. You know, take it to Him, and find find where your faith is and your voice is in that first, and then I would say be smart about how you are, how you move. Like, I really honestly think that we need. I mean, yeah, we have the power to vote. Exercise, utilize it. But do the best you can with what you're given. And I really think that we need to focus on just controlling our money. That's something we use every single day. I think we need to control our money and build up our own selves first, and look for us to, take care of ourselves rather than the system. Because nobody's going to look after us. We have to do it ourselves. So if you're giving a position or the power to be able to help us in our community, I mean, like I said, support Black businesses, build up our community. Like shirt that I got right here, it was a black company, Black business. If you have your money generate more in the Black community before it leaves out.
Good point. Man, I would say my last word is that voting is all year round, not just one time. Well, actually, not just every 4 years. Voting. Well, not to say that they have like voting, like we do voting every year, but when election time comes, vote. Like, don't just toss those other elections to aside, because those really matter. I need everybody to start a movement, man. Whatever's passionate on your heart, whatever is on your heart, start a movement. If you want to feed the homeless, feed the homeless. If you want to start an after school program, start an after school program, because those things, that after school program could be paired up with the homeless program, which could be paired up with somebody else's program, you know what I'm saying, which can start something bigger. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but start something. You might think it's small, but one day it might be big. You be the community. You start something in your surroundings, and watch that grow. And then when you watch that grow, watch yourself grow, because it's going to make you a better person. You're going to want to do bigger things. You know what I'm saying? So do something. We doing something. This is our something.